NASA says it's a comet, a natural object from another star system passing through. Observations from Hubble, JWST, Keck, and a dozen other telescopes confirm activity consistent with cometary behavior. And yet 14 documented anomalies refuse to go away. Right now, 3I Atlas is heading toward Jupiter at 60 kilometers per second, the third interstellar object ever detected. And every single measurement raises more questions than it answers. The anti-tail jet points toward the sun, not away from it, observed both before and after perihelion. No other comet in the catalog does this. The nickel-to-iron ratio matches industrial nickel alloys, not natural comets. Keck Observatory spectroscopy detected nickel emission with no detectable iron. The nickel-to-cyanide ratio is orders of magnitude higher than thousands of known comets, including 2I Borisov. The orbital trajectory aligns within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane. The rotation axis aligns within 8 degrees of the sunward direction. The jets align within 8 degrees of the rotation poles. The combined probability of all 3 geometric alignments is 1 in 4 billion. Dr. Avi Loeb from Harvard stated in January 2026, NASA's suggestion that rare things happen must attend to the fact that the probability for the trajectory alignment times the rotation axis alignment times the jet alignment gives a net probability of 1 part in 4 billion. Still more disturbing, on December 31, 2025, the CIA responded to a Freedom of Information Act request about 3I Atlas with a statement that it can neither deny nor confirm the existence of records. This is the first astronomical object in history to receive that response from U.S. intelligence agencies. 3I Atlas broke every assumption we use to classify interstellar objects as natural or anomalous. Here is what should concern you most. If even one of these 14 anomalies has no natural explanation, every calculation we have made about the probability of detecting artificial interstellar objects needs to be revised from 0 upward. Think about that. Before we break down what's actually happening with 3I Atlas, if you want to stay updated on the most controversial interstellar object ever detected, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because what we are about to reveal will force you to question whether we actually know how to recognize artificial objects when they enter the solar system. Leave a comment telling us, do you think 3I Atlas is definitely a comet? Or do the anomalies justify continued investigation beyond what NASA has concluded? Let's start with what 3I Atlas actually is. On July 1, 2025, the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, known as ATLAS, detected an unusual object in the constellation Cancer. The survey telescope sits in Rio Hurtado, Chile, and scans the sky specifically for near-Earth objects that could pose impact threats. 3I Atlas was flagged immediately because its trajectory did not match any known asteroid or comet. Within days, follow-up observations from multiple observatories confirmed what the orbital calculations suggested. The object was moving on a hyperbolic trajectory. That means its orbital eccentricity exceeded 1.0. It was not gravitationally bound to the sun. It came from interstellar space, passed through the inner solar system, and will leave again, never to return. This made 3I Atlas the third confirmed interstellar object ever detected. The first was 1I Oumuamua in October 2017. The second was 2I Borisov in August 2019. Both objects generated significant scientific interest. Both exhibited unusual properties, but 3I Atlas is different. 1I Oumuamua showed no detectable cometary activity, no coma, no tail. Its brightness varied dramatically, suggesting an elongated shape with an axis ratio of at least 10 to 1, possibly higher. It accelerated away from the sun faster than gravity alone would predict, with no visible outgassing to explain the thrust. The magnitude of the non-gravitational acceleration was measured at approximately 2.5 times 10 to the power of -4 centimeters per second squared. That level of thrust requires ejecting mass at a rate that should have produced a visible coma, yet none was observed. The lack of a clear mechanism for that acceleration remains unexplained to this day. Oumuamua was small. Length estimates ranged from 100 to 400 meters depending on assumptions about its shape and albedo. Its peak brightness reached magnitude 19.7 in October 2017, faint enough to require large telescopes to detect. It was discovered only after it had already passed perihelion and was outbound. By the time astronomers realized it was interstellar, the observing window was closing. It faded below detection limits within weeks. 2I Borisov, by contrast, looked exactly like a comet. It had a bright coma spanning tens of thousands of kilometers, a visible tail extending over 100,000 kilometers, and spectroscopic measurements showing water, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide outgassing at rates consistent with solar system comets. The nucleus was estimated at roughly 400 meters in diameter, similar in size to many short-period comets. Its composition matched expectations. Its behavior followed predictions. It did not accelerate anomalously. It did not generate controversy. Borisov's discovery in August 2019, nearly 2 years before perihelion, provided astronomers with months of observing time. Follow-up studies measured rotation rates, gas production rates, dust-to-gas ratios, and polarization properties. Every measurement confirmed that 2I Borisov was an ordinary comet, except for the fact that it came from interstellar space. 3I Atlas falls between those two extremes, but it is far larger than either. The nucleus is estimated at approximately 1 million times more massive than 1I Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than 2I Borisov. That makes it comparable in mass to some of the largest known comets in the Oort cloud. It is moving faster than both previous interstellar objects combined. At discovery, it was 670 million kilometers from the Sun, already well inside the inner solar system, approaching at high velocity. 3I Atlas falls between those two extremes. It shows cometary activity. Hubble imaged a dust coma and outgassing plumes in July 2025. JWST detected water ice grains smaller than 1 micrometer in the near-infrared spectrograph data collected in August 2025. The composition is approximately 87% carbon dioxide, 9% carbon monoxide, and only 4% water. That ratio is inverted compared to typical comets, but it is not impossible. Different formation environments could produce different ice mixtures. The observation campaign that followed discovery was unprecedented. On July 21, 2025, Hubble captured the first high-resolution images, revealing the anti-tail structure. On August 24, 2025, Keck Observatory obtained spectroscopic data confirming nickel emission with no detectable iron. In early October, ESA's Trace Gas Orbiter at Mars refined the orbital trajectory, improving position predictions by a factor of 10. On October 3, 2025, NASA's Perseverance rover paused its exploration of Mars to photograph 3I Atlas during its close approach to the planet at 0.194 astronomical units. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter and China's Tianwen-1 orbiter also imaged 3I Atlas during the Mars flyby. The high-rise camera on MRO captured images showing a glowing extension ahead of the object in the direction of motion, consistent with forward-pointing jets. On October 29, 2025, 3I Atlas reached perihelion at 136 astronomical units from the Sun. During the perihelion passage, it was too close to the Sun's glare to observe from Earth-based telescopes. ESA's SOHO spacecraft, which stares continuously at the Sun from the L1 Lagrange point, managed to capture images as 3I Atlas passed through SOHO's field of view. On November 6, 2025, NASA's Europa Clipper spacecraft observed 3I Atlas from a distance of approximately 102 million miles while en route to Jupiter. The spacecraft collected data using its visible and infrared instruments, though that data has not yet been publicly released. By early December, 3I Atlas had emerged from behind the Sun and was once again visible from Earth. On December 19, 2025, it made its closest approach to Earth at 1.8 astronomical units, approximately 270 million kilometers. Breakthrough Listen conducted its radio observations in mid-December using the Green Bank telescope. On December 30th, Hubble reobserved 3I Atlas with the Wide Field Camera 3, capturing updated images of the jets and coma structure post-perihelion. Each observation added detail. None resolved the anomalies. Every telescope confirmed that 3I Atlas was active, outgassing, and behaving broadly consistent with cometary physics. Yet the anti-tail persisted. The nickel remained. The geometric alignments did not change. NASA held a press conference in October 2025, stating that 3I Atlas is definitely a comet, with qualities that can be naturally explained by its different birth environment. That was the official position. Case closed. But the mysteries don't stop there. The anti-tail jet is the single most visible anomaly. Cometary tails form when solar radiation pressure and the solar wind push gas and dust away from the nucleus. The tail always points away from the Sun. That is basic physics. Solar photons carry momentum. When they strike dust particles, they transfer that momentum outward. The solar wind, a stream of charged particles flowing from the sun, does the same to ionized gas. The result is a tail that extends in the anti-solar direction. 3I Atlas has a jet that extends toward the sun. This was first observed in Hubble Space Telescope images from July 21, 2025, when 3I Atlas was still approaching perihelion. The viewing geometry at that time placed the observing line of sight only 10 degrees away from the sunward direction. The extended glow in the Hubble image appeared to stretch toward the sun by a factor of approximately 2 compared to the width perpendicular to that direction. Accounting for the projection angle, the actual elongation of the jet was calculated at roughly 11.6 times longer than it was wide. That is not an optical illusion. The jet was real, and it pointed sunward. The anti-tail persisted post-perihelion. Observations from November and December 2025, after 3I Atlas had rounded the sun and was heading outbound, showed the same structure. The jet extended in the direction of the sun, not away from it. Processed images from amateur astronomers using rotational gradient filters to suppress the symmetric coma confirmed the anti-tail's presence and orientation. Dr. Avi Loeb and Dr. Eric Keto co-authored a paper analyzing the Hubble data, concluding that this phenomenon, observed at a distance of 3.8 astronomical units from the sun, is not common and possibly observed for the first time in 3I Atlas. And here's the calculation that didn't make sense. For a sunward jet to exist, something must be pushing material in that direction with enough force to overcome solar radiation pressure and the solar wind. In principle, asymmetric outgassing from the nucleus could produce thrust in any direction. If ice pockets on the sunward-facing side of the nucleus sublimate preferentially, the escaping gas could push the object in one direction while ejecting material in the opposite direction. But the jet observed in 3I Atlas is tightly collimated. The opening angle is approximately 6 to 8 degrees. It extends to distances exceeding 500,000 kilometers, and it maintains that collimation despite the fact that 3I Atlas rotates with a period of 16.16 hours. That rotation should smear the jet. If outgassing is driven by solar heating of specific surface features, those features rotate in and out of sunlight every 16 hours. The jet should pulse. It should broaden. It should show spatial structure corresponding to the rotation period, material ejected in pulses separated by roughly 23,270 kilometers. The distance gas traveling at 400 meters per second would cover in 16.16 hours. None of that structure is visible. The jet appears smooth and continuous. Here's where it gets really strange. Keck Observatory observed 3I Atlas on August 24, 2025, using the Keck Cosmic Web Imager. The spectroscopic data confirmed the presence of nickel and cyanide emission, but the spatial distribution of those two species differed. Nickel emission was concentrated within the innermost 2,000 kilometers of the coma. Cyanide extended much farther, out to approximately 841 kilometers. The nickel to cyanide production rate ratio was significantly higher than that of 2I Borisov, and orders of magnitude higher than the median value for solar system comets. More importantly, the Keck data showed no detectable iron emission. Nickel was present. Iron was not. In standard cometary chemistry, nickel and iron are released together from the sublimation of refractory minerals embedded in the icy nucleus. The two elements are chemically similar. They are typically found in similar abundances in meteorites and in the sun. The solar nickel to iron ratio by mass is approximately 1 to 18. 3I Atlas shows nickel with no iron. Dr. Loeb noted in a Medium article that the gas plume surrounding 3I Atlas contains much more nickel than iron, as found in industrially produced nickel alloys. On Earth, separating nickel from iron requires industrial refining processes. The Mon process, for example, uses nickel carbonyl formation to extract pure nickel from ores. The suggestion that 3I Atlas might be exhibiting a similar process naturally is not impossible, but it has never been observed in any comet. Benjamin Jacobson Bell, lead researcher on the Breakthrough Listen observations from the Green Bank Telescope, stated in December 2025, "We all would have been thrilled to find techno-signatures coming from 3I Atlas, but they're just not there. Finding no signals was the result we expected, due to the significant evidence for 3I Atlas being a comet with only natural features." The Breakthrough Listen observation took place over a 5-hour window in December 2025, when 3I Atlas was approximately 167 million miles from Earth. The Green Bank Telescope is the largest fully steerable radio dish in the world, with a diameter of 100 meters. It scanned frequencies across multiple bands, searching for narrowband signals or modulated transmissions that could indicate artificial origin. The null result is significant, but it is not conclusive. Interstellar objects traveling for billions of years have no reason to continuously transmit. A two-way communication with a sender billions of years away is not feasible given light travel times. Any efficient signaling system would likely use beam transmissions compressed into short bursts with a small duty cycle to conserve energy. A 5-hour observation window covers less than 1/3 of 3I Atlas's 16-hour rotation period. If the object were transmitting in a specific direction, and that direction was not aligned with Earth during the observation window, the signal would be missed. If the transmission occurred in a burst lasting seconds or minutes, and that burst did not coincide with the observation, it would also be missed. The search covered specific frequency bands. If the signal existed outside those bands, it would not be detected. Dr. Loeb noted, "A proper observing program would have monitored 3I Atlas from many directions for a long period of time, and not just over a 5-hour window." And then something that no one predicted happened: the CIA response. On December 31st, 2025, John Greenewald Jr. submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Central Intelligence Agency asking for any records related to 3I Atlas. The CIA replied with a statement that it can neither deny nor confirm the existence of such records. That response is known as a Glomar response, named after the Hughes Glomar explorer ship used in a covert CIA operation in the 1970s to recover a sunken Soviet submarine. The Glomar response is invoked when acknowledging the existence or non-existence of records would itself reveal classified information. It is a legal mechanism to prevent inadvertent disclosure. The CIA has used the Glomar response in cases involving covert operations, intelligence gathering on foreign governments, surveillance programs, and sources whose exposure would compromise national security. It has been applied to requests about drone strikes, cyber operations, and classified satellite programs. In every documented case, the subject of the FOIA request involved activities that, if confirmed, would have clear implications for U.S. intelligence capabilities or methods. 3I Atlas is the first astronomical object ever to receive a Glomar response from the CIA. Dr. Loeb wrote in January 2026, "If the above interpretation is correct, 3I Atlas represents the first case of an astronomical object for which the neither deny nor confirm response was adopted purposely by the intelligence agencies." The simplest interpretation is that some government officials considered the possibility, however remote, that 3I Atlas posed a potential threat to society, even if the scientific consensus regarded such a possibility as highly unlikely. Intelligence agencies are tasked with assessing low probability, high consequence risks. A 1% chance of a catastrophic event warrants preparation, even if the 99% likelihood is that nothing will happen. This is the logic behind Pascal's wager applied to national security. Under that framework, NASA officials were encouraged to deliver the most scientifically likely interpretation to the public, that 3I Atlas is a natural comet, while intelligence agencies conducted parallel risk assessments that remain classified. The Glomar response suggests that those risk assessments exist, but revealing their conclusions would disclose information that the CIA considers sensitive. But there's another problem that nobody is discussing: the geometric alignments. 3I Atlas entered the solar system on a trajectory that aligns within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane, the plane in which Earth and the other planets orbit the Sun. The probability of that alignment occurring by chance is approximately 0.2%. The rotation axis of 3I Atlas, as measured from light curve variations in July and August 2025, was aligned to within 8 degrees of the sunward direction at large heliocentric distances. The probability of that alignment is approximately 0.5%. The two jets observed extending from 3I Atlas are aligned to within 8 degrees of the rotation poles. For two independent axes to both show collimated jets aligned with the rotation poles, the combined probability is approximately 0.0025%. Multiplying those three probabilities together, 0.02 times, 0.05 times, 0.0025 equals 0.000025. That is 1 part in 4 billion. Dr. Scott Chapman, professor at Dalhousie University and co-author on multiple 3I Atlas studies, has not commented publicly on the geometric alignments. His published work focuses on the cluster SPT 234956, not 3I Atlas. However, Dr. Loeb has repeatedly emphasized that dismissing the geometric coincidences as rare things happen does not address the compounding improbability when multiple rare events occur simultaneously. And the data showed something that no comet model predicts. The composition is wrong. Standard comets are dominated by water ice, typically 60 to 80% by mass. 3I Atlas is 87% carbon dioxide, 9% carbon monoxide, and only 4% water. JWST's near-infrared spectrograph data confirmed the presence of amorphous water ice grains smaller than 1 micrometer, but the overall water content remains far below typical values. Carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide ices are more volatile than water ice. They sublimate at lower temperatures. If 3I Atlas formed in a colder region of its parent star system, or if it spent billions of years in the cold interstellar medium, the more volatile ices could dominate. That is a plausible natural explanation, but it raises a different question. If 3I Atlas is billions of years old, potentially older than the solar system itself, as some estimates suggest based on its likely origin in a region of the Milky Way populated by older stars, how has it retained any volatiles at all? Cosmic rays and interstellar ultraviolet radiation degrade ices over time. A comet adrift in interstellar space for billions of years should have lost most of its volatile content to radiation processing. The fact that 3I Atlas still has an active coma and measurable outgassing rates suggests either that it has not been in interstellar space for as long as the age estimates imply, or that some mechanism has preserved the volatiles. Neither explanation is straightforward. Here's where the comparison becomes uncomfortable. 1I Oumuamua showed no outgassing, yet it accelerated. 3I Atlas shows outgassing, yet the composition is anomalous, the jets are misaligned, and the geometric coincidences are statistically extreme. 2I Borisov was entirely ordinary. 3 interstellar objects. 2 are unusual, 1 is not. The sample size is too small to draw conclusions about the base rate of anomalous interstellar objects, but the fact that 2 out of 3 show unexplained properties is striking. Jason Wright, astronomer at Penn State University, published a detailed analysis of Loeb's anomalies in November 2025, concluding that none of them require technological explanations. Wright argued that the high nickel abundance could result from nickel carbonyl chemistry in a carbon monoxide-rich environment. The anti-tail could be an optical effect from forward-scattering dust. The geometric alignments could be coincidences, rare but not impossible. The inverted water-to-carbon dioxide ratio could result from formation in a cold, CO2-rich protoplanetary disk. Wright's analysis is thorough and represents the mainstream scientific view. Every individual anomaly has a plausible natural explanation. None of them, taken alone, provides compelling evidence of technology. But the question Loeb keeps asking is whether the combined probability of all anomalies occurring together in the same object is still plausible. Now let's put everything together. 3I Atlas was discovered July 1st, 2025 by the Atlas Survey in Chile. It reached perihelion on October 29th, 2025 at a distance of 1.36 astronomical units. It made its closest approach to Earth on December 19th, 2025 at 1.8 astronomical units. 14 documented anomalies have been cataloged by Dr. Loeb and collaborators. These include: the trajectory aligns within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane. The rotation axis aligns within 8 degrees of the sunward direction. The jets align within 8 degrees of the rotation poles. The combined probability is 1 in 4 billion. The nucleus is approximately 1 million times more massive than 1I Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than 2I Borisov. The anti-tail jet points toward the sun, observed both pre- and post-perihelion. The nickel-to-iron ratio shows far more nickel than iron, matching industrial alloys. The nickel-to-cyanide ratio is orders of magnitude higher than thousands of known comets. The composition is 87% CO2, 9% CO, and only 4% water, inverted from typical comets. The arrival trajectory brought it within tens of millions of kilometers of Mars, Venus, and Jupiter in a fine-tuned sequence with a probability of 0.005%. The jets maintain collimation to 6 to 8 degrees, despite a 16.16-hour rotation period. The rotation axis orientation does not smear the jets as expected. Near perihelion, 3I Atlas brightened faster than any known comet and was bluer than the sun. The gas production rate is releasing water at up to 40 kilograms per second. orders of magnitude higher than typical comets at comparable distances. We are not saying that 3I Atlas is definitely artificial. The scientific consensus, represented by NASA, Breakthrough Listen, and the majority of planetary scientists, is that it is a natural comet with unusual but explainable properties. But we have reached a point where even conservative scientists acknowledge that the anomalies warrant continued observation. Dr. Benjamin Jacobson Bell stated, "The evidence was against 3I Atlas being one such probe, but we would have been remiss not to check." And here's what this really means. 3I Atlas is the first interstellar object to generate a GLOMAR response from US intelligence agencies. That fact alone does not prove anything about its nature, but it does prove that someone within the intelligence community considered the object significant enough that confirming or denying records about it would reveal classified information. So what do we know for certain? 3I Atlas is an interstellar comet discovered July 1st, 2025 by the Atlas Survey in Chile. It exhibits cometary activity including a coma, outgassing, and dust emission. 14 anomalies have been documented, including geometric alignments, compositional oddities, and the persistent anti-tailjet. The CIA issued a GLOMAR response to a FOIA request. Breakthrough. Listen detected no technosignatures during a 5-hour observation with the Green Bank telescope in December 2025. NASA's official position is that it is definitely a comet. What don't we know? How the anti-tailjet remains collimated despite rotation. Why the nickel-to-iron ratio is so high. Whether the geometric alignments are coincidences or the result of some selection effect we have not identified. What mechanism preserved volatile ices over billions of years in interstellar space? And whether the CIA's GLOMAR response indicates classified observations, classified concerns, or simply an overabundance of caution by intelligence analysts unfamiliar with astronomical protocols. And here's the urgency. 3I Atlas will make its closest approach to Jupiter on March 16, 2026, at a distance of approximately 0.358 astronomical units. ESA's JUICE spacecraft observed it in November 2025, but the data will not be publicly released until February 2026 due to communication delays. NASA's Juno spacecraft may also have imaging opportunities during the Jupiter encounter. Because if JUICE or Juno detect any behavior during the Jupiter flyby that cannot be explained by gravitational perturbations and outgassing alone, the anomaly count will increase. And the question of whether we know how to recognize artificial objects entering the solar system will become far more urgent. The truth is this: 3I Atlas did not provide the smoking gun evidence that would definitively classify it as artificial, but it also did not behave like a typical comet. It sits in the uncomfortable middle ground, where every anomaly has a plausible natural explanation, yet the combined probability of all anomalies occurring together approaches the threshold where rare coincidence stops being a satisfying answer. And the only way to resolve that ambiguity is to keep observing every interstellar object that enters the solar system, with every available instrument. Until we have a large enough sample to know whether objects like 3I Atlas are genuinely rare outliers or the first hints of a population we have not yet learned to recognize. If this video made you question whether we actually know how to identify artificial interstellar objects, hit like and subscribe to this channel. We are tracking 3I Atlas in real time as it heads toward Jupiter, and you will not want to miss what JUICE reveals in February 2026. Leave a comment with your take. Do you think the anomalies are coincidences, or does the CIA's response suggest something more is going on? And share this video with anyone who thinks the search for extraterrestrial intelligence is only about radio signals. After this, they will understand that sometimes the evidence is not a signal. It is an object that refuses to behave the way it should.